because it's got me more than once. Me and Joel and I have screwed up doing this so many times. You know, like I'm sure just like setting that rig up, where you're like, you just learn from experience so much better. So,
and you get in a zone with these things.
So quick. So what I wanted to ask you before was playing, you know, as often and as much as you do, and for as long as you have been playing, have you ever hit like the threshold where you're like, this is the amount of times I want to play per week? Or are you like, any gig, you know, as much as I can, I want to get out and play as much as I can? Do you go phases?
I'd say phases, but more so, in the beginning, it was like, I'm here to do this, let's do it. You know what I mean? And now, through the help of experience, and I think Jess has been pretty, you know, Jess, my girlfriend, and just simply having a girlfriend that's supportive of your music,
for sure,
and she's a business. I don't want to say she's business minded, because that's not necessarily true, but she's great in that world, you know.
Better than you.
She's better than me. I am. I am not a businessman. I am, you know, head in the clouds, ADD artist, you know, 100%. You know, I know how to sustain my life and as a musician, but you know, I definitely had a problem spreading myself thin back in the day. And I say pre-pandemic. I think the pandemic was another big thing. And like, okay, when all gigs subsided, you know, it was like,
oh no,
I was like, well, I slept for like, you know, a week, you know, and I was like, you know what? I might have been burning it a little too hard. And you don't, I didn't feel it because I love it. You know, but at that time, I mean, I was doing The Fridge, I was doing Animal Planet, Strung Like a Horse, like 4 other bands. I was playing, I had like 5 regular gigs. That was a nice little whistle. It just happened I had like 5 regular gigs. And I was doing, on top of weekly residencies. I had Brewhaus, I had Chattanooga Brewing Company, I had The Foundry, I had Pete's Coffee, and I had Sunday Fun Day. And I was doing JJ's gigs on Friday nights after other gigs, and then Saturday nights. I was doing like, you know, sometimes I would do 8 gigs in a week, more gigs than there were days. And then sometimes I was doing like, you know, I don't know. I'd say averaging 6. You know, there's a year span where I was probably 6 a week.
Wow, 4 year. Huh?
I was great. It was awesome, fun. But yeah, like that pandemic hit, and it was just like, oh man, I got it. You know, my body was just like, thank you. We've been trying to tell you this, but my joy was overtaken. I think. So I also realized I neglected, and this is a good lesson, I think, for a lot of musicians out there. I think I could have been a lot further along with the Animal Planet had I not spread myself so thin.
Yeah, because you were focused on other people's things and not your own.
And not my own. And I'm still doing, like, I'm playing with The Fridge. I still, you know, Strung's doing more of the original, doing some original style gigs. And that's kind of, you know, Clay's super busy with a lot of stuff. You know, I'll probably do Strung shows in the future, but that's not really taking up any of my time right now. And The Fridge is minimal, and you know, I you know, I communicate, you know, my focus is Danimal Planet now. I'm in my regular gigs in Danimal Planet, my job and my passion. And you know, if I can make it, I can make it. You know, and I do love The Fridge. The Fridge is like freedom for me because I get there. They really like the way I play bass. And they like my style, and they never have it. Like I get to do all the fun things that I want to do. So and
is
bass
it just show up, bass and amp, and that's it?
Bass and amp,
you
pedals,
like that?
and that's it.
Yeah,
and I don't sing.
Yeah.
And I just get to jump around, and that is true joy for me. So
Yeah.
the Fridge, and also I do love their music. It's really great, interesting music. So, but it's playing just bass, not it singing, nothing, dancing around. That's when I'm like really running around, and I don't even realize I am. Like I completely lose myself doing that. I love it. I need that. You know? So that's catharsis. You know, that's for me. You know, that is that. It feeds my soul. So I think, yes, I've stripped it down, but I would have been so much further with the Animal Planet. And I am like that. If I were to say that I have any regrets, but I don't really, because I learned that lesson in a beautiful way. You know what I mean? And I don't regret anything that I've ever done, you know, because I did it in the name of music, and I did it, you know, with as much authenticity as I possibly could, you know?
And I mean, too, like, you know how it is, dude. It's all about timing. So like, there could be a reason. Like, there's a reason why your focus is on Animal Planet now, with that experience and with that amount of stuff in your past. You know what I mean? Like there's the time. Maybe if you had focused on Animal Planet earlier, it would have been a different version. It wouldn't have been. Oh yeah. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't have the wisdom.
Like, so it's like, you know, it is what it is. I like that attitude of being like, absolutely, I learned the lessons, but.
You know, that's funny, and that's something I've been like meditating on a lot lately is trusting the timing of things. You know, because especially, you know, like, I mean, you and I are in our late 40s, right? Yeah, and I don't know if you're above me or not, but yeah, in the 40s, it's like, you know, we were told, like, yeah, once you reach your late 30s, you know, your career, you can't make it as a musician. That's people talking about pop stars. And stuff, you know? But no, I mean, like, you keep going. I'm not going to stop this.
No. Well, I mean, I think that idea is based on one of what you typically outside of music, people's idea of what success in music is. You know what I mean? But like, to me, I found so much more like personal enjoyment and satisfaction in music because of the things that we've done locally, even more than some of the cool touring and all that cool stuff. Like, I love doing all that. I'm not trying to say, but the stuff that we've done around here a lot of times means more because of it. It was, you know, it was like your friends and family. You know what I mean? It's those close people.
It's the connection, and you can really make people feel something. You can feel something with people, you know, when it is that intimate setting, and when you're up there on a big stage, you're performing, and when you're in the smaller the stage, the more interaction there is. You know what I mean? And there's something, you know, it's like what's her name came here and did that little private show last week. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that after the fact, but real famous girl.
You talking about Phoebe Bridgers?
Phoebe Bridgers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, like...
Yeah, surely we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about that now. Now
so.
That's done. Okay, cool. So, yeah, like, I know we couldn't...
You know, it was a big secret
before.
It
was kind of a secret. I didn't even know about it till day of, but I knew that... I was like, I felt...
That, it was funny, man. That happened on a Wednesday, so Tuesday night...
Yeah.
You know, it's Tuesday night Bluegrass Jam, and man, everybody was on edge here, and
you're like, what's going on?
Everybody was a little wigged out, and it was funny. Who was it? Becca was here. Becca doesn't normally come in on Tuesday. She runs the venue here. She's one of the venue managers, and when she saw me, she turned normally when she sees me, she smiles. She's like, hey. And she saw me and she just like, her face went blank and she was like, you're not doing the podcast in the green room, are you? And I said, no. I said, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday night Bluegrass Jam. And she's like, I just got it completely cleaned for our thing tomorrow. And I was like, what's going on tomorrow? And she's like, we can't talk about it. And I was like, okay, cool. No worries. But it was funny. It was funny how, they were way better at being tight-lipped than I thought they would be. Yeah. Like, they were... It wasn't until the next morning that I knew something was going on Tuesday night. But I kept saying, what's going on? They're like, we got a big buyout. Yeah. And if you push them at all, they'd be like, we don't really know.
Yeah. I knew something was happening, but I didn't know what it was. But also I heard, after the fact that they brought like bomb dogs in here.
That was what they were saying, that they for real came through here. That was why she was asking about the green room, because she had already swept the whole green room and made sure that all the bombs were away. She had already swept it, made sure it was all clean.
That's so funny. I mean, I guess, you got to think about it. I don't really think I could see maybe like Taylor Swift or, Dead and Company or something like that.
It's probably just it's a
common
they probably
thing,
do it when you're at 4 million, listeners a month or something. It's probably like,
that's crazy.
Every single venue gets the same treatment, no matter what. Every yogurt place you stop in or whatever.
But if I was that big, that's what I'd want to do. That I know Fish did that. Like they
play smaller venues.
And they called themselves a different name, and like it's all the big huge places I've played. They're just it's a little empty up there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not that it's the bigness is not as appealing to me as much anymore. It just isn't. It like, and when you look back, it's the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
the whole. If you're not enjoying practicing, stop.
Yeah,
do something different.
For sure.
Like I can't practice. I don't have enough time to practice now. I mean, I got to live my life. I got to like be a responsible adult and, answer text messages and emails. And I'm so slow at that. And it's like, man, I just want to practice my instrument. I am in a practice deficit because everything's practical application right now. And man, I had to I took a month, like last year, took a month off gigs.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
No, we covered a gig for you, I think.
Yeah, I think. Okay. Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's right. And just went to. I'm very fortunate. My mother owns a condo out in North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Lakes, beautiful place called Bear Paw. About 40 minutes past the Ocoee, and I just went out there and set up shop and just went creative writing, no agenda,
just go
practice, write, and go to bed, wake up, practice, write, meditate, all that stuff, work out. It's doing my regular stuff, and then it was, man. But I had to make time to do that.
Well, and
it's like
without the pressure of being, by the time you show up at the venue, set all of your stuff up, play your show, break everything back down, it really is a 6 to 8 hour day. Yeah. You know what I mean? It takes that long.
Absolutely.
And so being able to take 3 or 4 6 to 8 hour days off a week for just a couple of weeks to focus on one thing, man, it must have been did it take a few days to be in 2 days, were you okay, now I've done everything? Or were you
oh, what do you mean? I've done everything I need to do?
No, I'm saying during this time period where you're just get to do something I've never been done, where I've just been just focused solely on music. Yeah. Did it and did you hit right out of the gate? Okay, 2 or 3 days in, you're okay, now what? Or
no, it was the exact opposite of that. First off, it was 2 or 3 days of you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It was I don't know what to do. I would still practice and got things done, but it was kind of meditating, resting.
Yeah.
And then, because I had a whole month, so I was I was trying to pay attention to my body and what my body was telling me. My body was okay, we're going to chill, and then day 3, creativity rolls in.
Really?
Yeah. And that was, and then it was it was so cool because you just lose track of days, I mean? And I didn't know what day it was in the middle of it. I had no idea.
Really?
It was Saturday or Wednesday. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool. It was really awesome. But it was I could have done it for years probably.
Yeah.
I honestly, that's kind of why I'm the idea of scoring films is fairly attractive to me, because I feel like that's what it would be
similar
doing. You know what I mean? You'd just be locking yourself in a room, watching a movie and trying to decipher the music. I think that would be really cool thing to do, and I think I'll eventually get there. But
Yeah.
taking it in strides. But yeah, I would like to, making time to rehearse, to practice is like, and to write and to create, and those things go hand in hand for me. It's cool because I use the loops to practice, like, and so there's some scale running, but like for the most part, it's like, okay, I'll make this. Oh, here's this cool chord progression. Let's loop it. Let's create off of it, and then I'll play a bass line the same way, but just make slight variations for like 2 hours on a 4-bar loop.
Really, just testing out every possibility.
Yeah, and like testing out different rhythms and also different the drum samples and different ways of playing. And that's kind of how I practice with the bass. It really kind of helps you like learning, like, with bass, so much of it is the stopping of the note, and the leaving the space and really, okay, if I mute it here, is it going to be more impactful? You can really get into it. So that's kind of how I practice when I do. So it takes a long time, but yeah. Anyway, hey,
so out of those, out of that whole situation, how many songs? What practically would you end up with?
Song, like amount of songs,
or what did it change? Did it put some goal in your mind, or what you wanted to do, or?
Well, there was a lot of specific goals I had. One of them was learning the X360 camera.
I got you.
I bought one of those recently and was, working on learning how to edit that. So there was a lot of me kind of doing some tech work too, and figuring out the software and that. So that was one of my goals. One of my goals was kind of getting things organized and planned. Working on, I'm really, this has been the hardest thing for me, and I don't know why. I've got a mental block for it, but I think things like doing this is helping me. Like, I want to start getting out there online more and doing, filming myself and maybe doing live streams and stuff like that. And I've got some mental block right now, and I'm working on. Actually, I don't have a mental block. I'm trying to tell myself that I think the narrative in my head is keeping me from doing it because I want to do it. I enjoy doing it. So I was practicing doing that there. So that was one of my goals too, and also writing songs. And I wrote probably like 5 full songs, which is not that much. But I made a lot of jams, and I really developed those songs. And I wrote one of the songs that's like really taken a lot of shape, and people are asking for it now a lot. So and there's several of them that I had a bunch of ideas that I wrote that I had completed, but I completed about 5 songs while I was up there in a month, which doesn't seem like a lot, but there was a lot of other stuff I was doing too. And I was, filming myself, and like, it was fun. It was weird. It feels a little narcissistic. I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels like a little self.
It's like self-indulgent.
Self-indulgent. I think
that's your stomach block. That's what you got to get over.
Yeah.
Is like, because it really isn't like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went through that journey a few years back where I was like, all right, at some point in time, I'm gonna have to turn the camera on myself and then start promoting this way, because that's just the way. I'm sure we're in this. When did you start playing in bands? When you were in high school? So high school, same boat. When I was in high school, when we played shows, I had to make flyers.
Yeah.
When I was in college, we had to do flyers.
Yeah.
The thing has just changed. Flyers got harder to make.
Yeah.
And as life got on, then they got easier to make as computers came along. And then you could get one artist to draw 1 or 2 pictures, and you could use that for 5 or 6 different flyers. And and it's always been evolving. And this is, to me, is just another version of that.
Like flyers.
Like, this is just.
I like the way you're looking at that.
And not necessarily this podcast, but the promotion stuff that happens on social media when I'm trying to promote Bluegrass shows or all that stuff is so much output. Yeah, I really am somewhat disconnected to it personally, even though it's my face and I'm the one editing and shooting the whole thing. It's like kind of is like the Randy Steele on banjo thing. It's like that banjo thing. I'm not.
So you're kind of detached from it.
A little bit detached. Like I think it's just in my mind that's the way it is. I'm not saying that's the way it is in reality, but in my mind. I'm like, this is for banjo stuff. And when I put it that in that mind frame, really was able to be a lot more comfortable, like on camera, and being like, hey, and I didn't feel like I was being fake. I felt like I was actually being real, because I was saying to myself, I'm doing this for the banjo thing. This is for the banjo, and this is for shows, and this is for, and like the stuff that like a lot of people who don't have that on social media are putting pictures of their nephews, or they're putting pictures of the stuff that they did during the day. Almost everything I do is in regards to promoting shows or trying to build the Randy Steele on banjo kind of brand thing. You know what I mean? And it does kind of insulate you just a little bit from. That's the thing, is that the way a lot of other people don't see it that way, because they're literally putting their lives on there, their personal lives. Yeah. And I'm not actually. I'm doing a very curated version. Like it's banjo stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Man, I'm so glad we talked about that. I needed to hear that.
It's funny how much I don't know, like my attitude could be completely wrong. Like I'm sure people look at me and say like, I would be so embarrassed to do that, or he's embarrassing himself doing that. But to me, I don't even care. Like that idea has gotten so, I don't have that ego. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like to me, that seems like an egotistical person would be like, how could you, great you? I could never do that, because the great me could never bring myself to do that. You know,
my issue is like is in that realm, and the fact that like, okay, I'm struggling with feeling authentic about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Because I don't want anything out there unless it feels authentic. Like I feel like doing this. I'm so relaxed. I feel authentic. I know we're being filmed. I'm talking to you. I got a microphone in my hand.
Yeah.
But this does not feel like inauthentic. But when I'm filming myself, so I feel inauthentic. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. How do you get? Is it that separation?
Honestly, it is that separation.
Saying,
and I think
that mind frame, basically.
I think I was lucky in the experience of being close with Nick Let's Go. And being able to see how his setup is, because he's kind of in the same way. Like, even though he really does kind of put his whole life, I mean, he's putting everything out there a lot. He puts a lot out, and there's a lot. He puts a lot of his own personal. Like, I don't put personal political beliefs or personal spiritual beliefs. I don't ever put any of that stuff.
I'll probably do spiritual stuff if I do it.
Yeah, but he will. He has no problem doing that, and a lot of that is because he does have a little bit of a disconnect, and it's not much, but he has a disconnect where he's like, this is for my music career, and that's what it's for. Yeah. And like all of a sudden that does give it the authenticity, at least in my opinion, like,
because you're creating the character that is you.
Yeah. Right? And it is, even though it is like, I may yuck up a little bit of Southern talk, hey, we're playing a bluegrass thing tonight. You know what I mean? Like, you do perform.
But that happens
You're
naturally
performing, too. But that doesn't mean it's like inauthentic. Like I promise you, every single ad, I am 100% want you to come to the show. Like that's the whole, I'm just trying to get people to come to shows. That's so we can all play music and have a good time. You know what I mean? And, but it doesn't mean it's an easy lesson, and again, I could be totally wrong.
Man, this helped me so much. I gotta say, this really helped talking to you about this. If there's any sort of like purpose for personally for me being here, outside of just being the honor of doing this and the joy of it, it's that part of the conversation I really needed to hear.
Yeah, but I think too, like. People do want to hear from you. Like people, it is fun. Like I don't know, maybe just because I put myself in the same situation, and I try to think about it empathetically, like, because I follow music. I'm a music fan, and I have musicians that I like to follow and that I want to see, and I like hearing from them. Like even there's some that post a ton, that post 10 times more than I ever would. I honestly will watch most of those posts because a lot of times it's interesting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I'm interested in their music or them as a person. And I think one of the ways to get people to listen is by getting them to actually know us as people first, because that's what happens on Instagram is they get a chance to, or on YouTube or on TikTok or any of that stuff, is they get a chance to know you as a person. And, you know, I'm not going on there with a fake mustache and being like something that I'm not, you know, it is just regular old me, but it does give people a chance to like get to know you a little bit beforehand.
Man. Yeah. I needed this. This is therapy, man. Seriously, it was. It's cause it's been a mental block for me. And like, it's just like, Jess has been helping me out a lot, with promotion and stuff like that. She's like, "Yo, I need you to do. I need stuff." Yeah. And I'm like, "Oh, I'll get it. But I think what also, you're talking about like people getting to know you. I think I've been able to do that locally. Through my residencies. So I get the feeling of that, you know what I mean? Like with the residencies, but that's just in Chattanooga, and I'm going to reach out, to places too, So, and it's time for me to get into that. And I think that between this conversation and Jess pushing me to do this for a long time, and I mean, like.
It's difficult too. I mean, like we're even in like something like this podcast. I have never set up like a TikTok for it, and I have to set up a TikTok for it at some point in time.
Yeah,
man, just going through the process has been like. It's not like it's hard to do.
Yeah,
and it's not like I'm making these clips for YouTube already anyway, and for Instagram. So it's not like it's more work. It's just the process of going through it. Even just the process of going through it, I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. And it's like, I'll do it next week. And then I turn around and this is something me and Joe were supposed to do in February.
Yeah. I'm like, it's distracting too. It's, insanely distracting to just, it's like I get on to promote and an hour later I haven't done anything and I just doom scrolled.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that I've been on the road. I just got back from Florida. We were playing gigs in Florida this weekend, and we just came back. And we were having a conversation on the way back that went way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But and a big part of that conversation was about are you expending your? It kind of went into full things, but like, are you expending your creative output when you're editing, like as opposed to writing songs? Sometimes I'm spending my mornings editing videos for this podcast or for Instagram or for stuff. Now that takes it's a creativity. It's a different creativity than songwriting, but it does take some creativity in order to try to make it.
It takes that time slot that you could be writing.
Definitely takes the time away.
Yeah.
But like, do you feel like there's a creative tank that can be empty and full? Or do you feel like, have you, or from your experiences, is that something that you're just, as soon as you find the time, you can be creative?
I think for me, it's fairly unending. It's a bottomless well. Like the creative, now where I struggle is are like practical issues, like turning on the computer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can
coloring book. I'm down.
I can crush Pro Tools and Logic and all the, all the, DAW software, anything that is related to artistic creation, I'll figure it out. But turning on the computer and maybe like finding the app,
getting it on.
I mean, and that's an exaggeration, but also not. That's the thing that to me, that's my roadblock, and I overthink that and frustrate myself, and it sets the press. It sets a mindset that is not conducive to creativity. I
think that's
which is why I like loopers, because you just turn them on. And, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like boom, the creativity's
done.
there.
Get ready.
Yeah. But Yeah, I don't know, but those are my walls right now, or those are my, not walls, those are my, hurdles, I guess is a better word for that, because
I guess I'm sure it's probably different for each person, at least on some level. But for me, I have been finding that the more I've been spending, the more time I spending time editing some of these videos for social media videos, when I get to writing, which is like kind of a daily thing for me, when I get to writing, I just feel spent sometimes, and I'm like, I can't think of anything, dude.
Yeah.
And it's what's funny is I think of writing in the exact same way, where what I normally do is I write, and then I'll spend editing time, and I edit down, and then I think about each line, and I think, how could that be? How does this need to be more concise? How can I break this? Can I say this in 8 syllables as opposed, because it clashes with the, you know what I mean? You know how it is. So like that part of songwriting is like such the 80% part. But I don't know if it's just the same muscle, maybe, or I don't know, maybe it's just me. So or maybe I'm just getting old, man.
No. I think, yeah. So it's the so it does like take up some of that creative.
Yeah,
I think for me, what would happen, what does happen is like I have certain times that my creative brain works. Like I'm a morning person, right?
Me too.
So like, it would probably be more beneficial for me to spend the first part writing and doing all the creative stuff, and then figuring out all the other stuff. But then my brain would be tired figuring out all the practical, like technical stuff, which I probably would need that for the morning. So I don't know. For me, like, I think what's going to happen, the way I look at it is it's going to be an alternation. It's like, okay, Tuesdays are tech days, or editing days, Mondays are creative days, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to work out that schedule, but I don't know. I think I put too much emphasis on, and this is a question I've been wanting to ask you, is what is the, when you are creating content, how much emphasis do you put on like putting out something that's raw or well put together? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, because I think one of my blocks is like, I feel like anything that I put out needs to be like good quality, and I don't want anybody to see it unless it's good quality.
Yeah.
And I think that's a roadblock, and I need to get out of that mind. And like Jess has been saying, get out of that mindset, because just put something out there. But I don't know what your take is on that.
It's another discussion that Nick and I have, and I've had this discussion a few times, and we both land in the exact same place, which is funny, because he's on such a big different scale. Like the stuff that he does is like 10 times the amount of the stuff that I do. But I can't tell you how many things that I have been like, this is a killer idea, and I have shot this great, and I have edited it great, and I used great sound stuff, and it's going to be awesome, and I video it, and I put it out, and it gets 200 views, right? And it's just like devastating. You're like, golly, I thought this was it, perfect. And then like a month later, it'll be me on the porch screwing around playing the banjo, and 3,000 views, all these comments, this is whatever. And it's like, I don't think that there really is like, it just, some stuff pops and some stuff doesn't. There are some really cool devices and microphones and stuff that you can get that really do make it a lot easier. And like having a good mic, I can tell a difference in just the way it seems to me like the algorithm treats if I have HD sound quality on something as opposed to cell phone sound quality on something, right? That could just be me, and it could just be in my own mind, but it does seem to be that way, that if I have good sound quality.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that sound quality really turns them off.
Yeah.
Or like a pop or whatever,
sort of like, not that I can't have a standard and say like this is like a standard of what I want to do, like, because I definitely have a standard of saying like
of quality for
sure, right?
Yes.
But honestly, like even that, sometimes that feels inauthentic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes it doesn't feel authentic unless it's a shaky camera and you're going, hey, guess what? I'm doing this. You know what I mean? So there is a little bit of authenticity that if you really go high over high production that you lose a little bit, but it's also at some point in time, you know, there's all these different things to think about. And it's like, you have to stop people from doing this right here, right? Which is what you were just saying. You're doom scrolling. You're trying to stop that. A lot of times a shaky video doesn't do that. It takes a little bit of high quality production or something to, you know, right at the very beginning. The more you do this, the more you end up talking about yourself, and the more you end up sharing, and you put yourself out there. And it is a little scary to put yourself out there to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier for me to share a song with Christy, my wife, than it is for me to share a song publicly. You know what I mean? Especially ones that mean a lot. You know what I mean? But once you I think that's just becomes a thing, is that once that becomes another person, like I kind of just treat that as like another person, a friend, and that's who it is. And it's really for the people it's just for people who are interested in what I'm doing. Then they don't have that standard.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever you got going on, that's cool. I feel that way about other people on social media. I follow them. You know, I like a lot of what they do.
Yeah.
You know, but not everything, but most of it.
You know, and also maybe like, I'm getting philosophical here, but
Let's
like,
get it.
Okay. As I get older, I'm trying to quell my judgment of others.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was listening to this podcast the other day, and really resonated with me. It was like, you attract the things that you attract in your life, the things that you judge. Like if you're, you know, working with like deforestation, and you spend all your time judging all the people that are ruining the forest, you're going to find yourself in a world surrounded by that kind of stuff, which is probably, you know, somewhat the intention, because you're trying to correct it, right? But you're going to attract that stuff in your life, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like as long as I can keep the judgment of others down, I feel like I'll be, which I'm pretty good about not judging others, but it happens.
It's
I'm
too
a
fun.
human being, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, you know, when I watch other people do that, I need to keep my judgment eye out of that. Cause I think that's when I think about it, like when I'm going to do it, like,
you think that people are going to do that to you,
that guy, you know, or that thing that he did was weird, and, you know, and it's probably something I am only focused on, and most people aren't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, and I think maybe that's what creates the block with me, is like, or I'm focused on maybe looking good, or not.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you
looking
mean.
good to the, like,
you
know, in my quest for being authentic, I end up probably to worrying too much, and then that creates inauthenticity in and of itself. So, yeah, it's
tough.
There's really not a thing to pin down, I guess, is what I'm kind of getting at, other than just to do it so much that it becomes natural and feel
honestly,
right.
I think that is it.
Okay.
Even we're fixing to do the 1 year anniversary of Tuesday Night Bluegrass Jam. Starts this Tuesday. We've been doing it for a year. Yeah,
you gotta be
kidding.
Yeah. Wow.
So in this last couple of days, I've been going back through my phone and looking for the Tuesday night social media posts that I usually make a post every Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday. It's Bluegrass Day in Chattanooga. We're going to be and just do the whole spiel, whatever, right? And in doing that, I bumped into some old social media videos and seeing some of the stuff that it feels like it was 5 years ago, and it was last year, of some of the stuff that I've done that I was like, oh, okay, I see it. That's not great. Like, I wouldn't do that today. That was definitely a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it
was part of the growth process.
Part of the process.
You're
not only
that,
some of the fears that you're talking about having, like, I remember having those fears, and it is one of those things where once you get 6 months in of posting and doing that stuff quite a bit, you're like, I don't know why I was even worried about that.
It's
That's
so funny. I have no fear of making a fool out of myself in front of people in real time.
Yeah.
But I do with a camera. It's so weird. Like, I mean, I was a tour guide at Ruby Falls for 15 years. So it's like, I mean, having the worst jokes possible and trying to make them funny. And it's all about the delivery of it. It's the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
It's the same thing. I had plenty of time cutting my teeth in front of people. Now it's like, okay, now you got to cut your teeth in front of this little circle pointing at you. So it's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
Wow, this is great. I think it's going to help me out. This is going to help me out a lot.
Well, good. So people want to check out where Danimal Planet and all stuff Dan Pinson. Where should they go?
You can just go to Instagram Danimal444, and check out Danimal Planet on Spotify, on all the YouTube, checking me out on my residencies around town. I got should I say the residencies?
Yeah, please.
All right, so I have three residencies that I'm doing. I've got Hoptown on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. I've got Barlery on Fridays, and then Sunday Fun Day. And Hoptown Hoptown and Barlery are kind of similar, but Hoptown's a little bit more. I'm thinking about taking that more into like a stripped down version of my looping. Mm-hmm. I haven't yet, just because I don't know. I'm so used to
getting used to social media videos. Spending too much time.
Same thing. But Barlery's going to be. I really like that, and it's every Friday, but also it is on a Friday, so I do a lot of other gigs too. So it's not. We'll find subs if I'm not doing it, but that's like the sound there's great. The place is cool, and I really like that. So those are the places. But
that's cool. I haven't spent much time in Barlery yet. I've seen your videos, and I've only been in there one time. It was like we had to go in and had to run in and run out for something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. But,
it's a cool place with Curtis, the new owner, super cool guy, and he put a lot into the sound system.
Really?
It's a nice.
That's what I've heard.
It's the best like quality sound that here actually Barrel House is too, but that's to be expected.
Barlery, you're just a regular bar.
Out of the regular bar world in that echelon of, but Barrel House is. You can't beat the sound here. But, But as far as like it being like just I wouldn't call it a small bar, because I think it's bigger than JJ's capacity wise. But
no, it's not. It is. It's not small.
It feels like it from the outside, but once you get in there, it goes way back.
Yeah.
It's a cool place. I like it. So I guess that's. Is there anything else I can think of? Like, where else would they?
You have a calendar on your website?
Huh?
You have a calendar on your website?
I've got what on my website?
Calendar.
Calendar's on the website. Also on the socials. I'm working on all that stuff too, and refreshing it all. So, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, we will put all that stuff in the either in the comments or on the information page on this YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to click on those, and you'll see all of Dan's stuff. Please give Dan a follow, especially on social media on Instagram, and do us a favor and hit like and subscribe on the YouTube page. If you're not listening on YouTube, go to our YouTube page, please. It's called Eat the Brick, and please follow and subscribe. That really helps out a lot.
Do you mind if I do one quick little plug?
Please do.
At Barrel House, which is where we're doing this podcast, on the 24th, I think the 24th, let me double check, the 24th of July, we will be playing, 24th of July, it's a Friday, Danimal Planet. It's the number 2 version of it. I'm gonna have 2 versions of Danimal Planet. This one I'm gonna have Drew McDowell on drums. I'm gonna have Mike Walker on guitar, Boots, and Jared on bass.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And Courtney, of course, will be with us. So, and a band from Canada called She Bad is opening up for us.
Yeah.
And they're killer.
Really?
Check out their stuff. They're a
She
great
Bad.
band. She Bad. All capital letters.
How'd that connection happen?
Lake, who's
Lake
doing the booking here, thought it would be a good match, and he's like, check them out, and we looked them up, and they're like one of Courtney's. She's I don't know, not favorite bands, but maybe favorite bands, but she's been like really dig, and they have a lot of really cool videos and great band. So yeah, that's gonna be the next Danimal Planet show. I just wanted to give that a.
Well, I'm glad. July 24th, Barrel House Ballroom, Danimal Planet, She Bad from Canada. It's gonna be a big time.
Say that. I
appreciate you, dude.
Thank you. That was awesome.